Thank you, Brother Davenport, for that testimony of your ministry. We appreciate that very much. Sister Davenport, would you like to add a few things to that testimony?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Okay.
I was fortunate to be saved when I was 9 years old. We didn't have a baptistry in our church, so I had to wait almost a year to be baptized in the Bay. But when I was, by then my mom and daddy had been saved, and a lot more out of the families. But it was my two brothers that first took me to church. But at any rate, I've had most of my life in church, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, because that's where the joy is.
Amen.
I was a member of Galilee Missionary Baptist Church in Milton, Florida, for 54 years before I left it to come here and marry Glen. My daddy was pastor of that church for some 30 years. So I've had a blessed life. I lost my first husband after 41 years and was a widow for 9 years. People would ask me if I would ever marry again, and I told them I really didn't have any thought of that. If I did, God would have to lay somebody in my lap, because life wasn't too bad, just like it was, really. But he laid Glen in my lap, and I took him.
Amen.
So I went from a father preacher to a husband preacher, and in our own work. I wouldn't have left our work for anyone. But it's been blessed, and I love to hear him preach. I just wish that our church would grow. I listen to him preach, and I think, what a shame that we didn't have a house full to hear that message. They really needed it, and it could have been such a blessing to them. So I'm thankful to God for Glen. I'm thankful for the life he's given me and for the blessings that I receive still today.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, Sister Davenport. Brother Davenport, as a mentor in our work to younger preachers, what would you say to younger preachers who are just getting started in the ministry in the ABA today?
I'll say about myself that I'm not a teacher, but I am a student. And as I studied the scriptures and learned some things, I feel like it's important to tell people what I learned. So that's where it's at. I'm a student and talking about what I learned. And besides that, the notes that I take, I feel like as much time as I put in, and sometimes I have been guilty of putting 24 hours a day, 24 hours a week in preparation for one sermon. And so I like to do it that way. There's a lot of time in it. And anyway, I put the notes, my notes into books. I have about 15, 20 books now, but 10 have been published. But I have as a favorite verse, it's like 1 Peter chapter 4, chapter 4:11, that says that if you're going to speak, speak as if it was the oracles of God. If I understand the oracles of God, that means it's like preach what you believe that he spoke to you. If this is, you would have been, of course, we have our Bible to read, our Bible to study. It's his word. And when you read it and study it, just understand that it's his word, and you are to preach the word and stay right with it. Advise people not to get caught up in playing around. This is not playing around stuff.
Sure.
People will get enough fun out of other things. Let's just be preachers of the word.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Brother